left. You posted that everything. So I guess you were watching Home Alone.
I was watching the fourth one.
Okay, so stop right there.
I
You
know it's
posted all of the other Home Alone movies besides one and two are garbage or something like that. Here's
I
the thing.
did. I did.
Didn't know there was number four, by the way, but number one's the only good one. My opinion, Home Alone 2 is
Uh,
garbage.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I mean, I think they were riding off the coattails of the first one.
Of course, cash in. It's the highest grossing Christmas movie of all time.
Yeah.
And I
Um,
just learned that the other day.
so the third one, have you seen the third one?
No, again, I didn't know. Okay, let me ask you this. Is the third one, does it have a little kid?
No, he was about the same, probably the same age as Macaulay Culkin was. He was
Okay.
in a bunch of like I think he was in a bunch of like Disney movies at a
Yeah,
young
no.
age.
Then I haven't seen it. No.
I can't think of what his name is though, but that one wasn't good. And
I'm sure it wasn't.
the fourth one is even more terrible.
Can I
I
ask you
just found
something?
out last night. But listen, the fourth one is even more terrible. I just found out last night because they tried to recreate they put did the same characters in the
Yeah.
movie with different
Yeah.
people. So it's
Same.
still Kevin McAllister. That's a different kid. The dad and the mom get divorced, but they're two completely different people than the other movies.
Oh, wait. Do you know what? I think
Uh-uh.
I've seen this hunk of shit. This is
It's
ringing a
terrible,
bell.
dude.
What
It is
else? What else?
terrible.
Is Buzz in it?
Think so.
Okay, maybe
I
I
didn't
haven't
watch
seen it.
all of it, but yeah, it was pretty terrible.
This is
Oh,
Home
that one.
Alone 3.
So that's the third one. Yeah. So that kid, I think,
Okay.
was in quite a few like Disney movies as a young kid.
He looks familiar. This came out in 1997.
That's what I thought, dude. I couldn't believe it was that long ago.
Yeah, haven't seen it. Glad I haven't.
But yeah, the fourth one was terrible. And also because they had a Marv who was a different guy.
In the
And
fourth one.
yeah, and there's no Harry.
Okay.
Marv marries a woman and she is his new sidekick.
This sounds so
It is
shitty.
so absolutely
Wait,
garbage.
Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House, starring
Yeah.
Mike Weinberg.
Yeah, that one. That's what I'm talking about. It's terrible.
It looks pretty bad.
Yeah, and see that guy, I can't remember what his name is. Let's see. The guy that plays Marv. Guy in the sun.
Marv is played by French Stewart.
Is that his
Really?
name? So he was from like Third Rock from the Sun,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Oh, this guy right here.
Yeah. So yeah, that's him as Marv.
Marv Merchants.
Anybody listening to this is hating this, but that's okay.
All right. I'll stop sharing so we can get to the point here. All right.
Yeah. I mean, the point is it's terrible. And then there's you just seen, I think there's two more. One is a newer one. I think it was like with a British kid.
Have we
I'm
had
not
like
saying
a
that's why it's
trans
terrible.
Kevin McAllister yet? Or
Oh my God.
like come on. You know it's coming.
It's I probably.
Yeah.
But
I won't clip
I
that.
feel
I
like
won't
Buzz
clip that out. I won't clip that question out and post it. Or will
I
I?
I feel like Buzz was in one of the recent ones though, wasn't he?
I feel like I saw something like he was on like a talk show, one of
Yeah.
the late night shows with and maybe not. Maybe they did like a Home Alone reunion of the original cat. I don't remember, but
Yeah.
you know the dad from the original is dead, correct?
Oh, is he really?
He died like 6 years ago. My wife and I were just talking about that because we just had on the first one. In spirit of
Okay.
this conversation, I put on the first one and it holds up. It's a good flick. The second, I don't like the second one.
Why not? What do you have against the second one?
The second one just bothers me. It's something about the lady with the pigeons mixed with the hotel staff, mixed with Donald Trump being in it, mixed with the toy store guy. There's just so many annoying people.
You don't like Rob Schneider at like 21,
No,
like age 21?
no. And I seriously doubt he was 21. He was probably like 35.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about too. Because the mom, Catherine O'Hara, and I can't remember the dad's name in Home Alone. The mom, guess how old the mom was when that movie was filmed? Catherine O'Hara, legendary, 90s comedy actress.
36.
Dude, right on. She was 36.
Wow, that
Guess
was
what?
so lucky.
That was good job. How old was the dad?
42.
34.
Oh, no,
Looks
really?
looks
Wow.
every bit of
He
42.
does.
Or
Wow.
yeah, oh yeah.
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 Wow.
So yeah.
Are you a fan
Uh
of her, like in general, as an actor?
of who?
Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
Beetlejuice, Home Alone.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you watch Schitt's Creek?
No, terrible. I watched 5 minutes of the first episode and turned it off.
Yeah,
Not
I
for
wasn't
me.
the biggest fan of it either.
Not for me. And I would constantly see people post like best show since blah blah blah. I'm like, do you know It's Always Sunny is on right now? Do you know Ozark is on right now? Shut up. Best show. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No, it's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible.
Yeah.
Not terrible. Just not for me.
Can we talk about Ted Lasso a little bit? You watched Ted
Please.
Lasso. Were you a big fan of the show?
I liked it. I'm curious to see what happens in season 3. I mean, well, curious enough to like watch, but there are several things about that show that bother me. And I feel like we talked about this when I asked you, had you seen it yet? And you hadn't.
Okay.
I don't care where you are from in the United States of America. You know what soccer is. Like they made it out to be like he's this fucking, and he's a college football coach, but he doesn't know the ways of the world. Like, no. You don't get to that point in life and not know what Europe is or not know what, like that part is goofy to me. But like once they got rolling with it, it got good. It got good.
If I had just read the description of the show and not watched it, I don't think I would have been interested in it. Like if you think of what the storyline is, it's not, it's not great. It's just a football coach turned soccer coach who doesn't know anything about soccer, and it's just so he can, because this woman wants him to turn the team into crap, basically.
It's Major League, but soccer.
Yeah.
It's the movie Major League, but soccer.
Yeah.
I mean, they took the same formula and added a dumb redneck coach or hillbilly coach.
Yeah.
But it got well, no, so I saw previews or clips of it on YouTube or something. I was like, I'm not gonna watch that. And then this was like after, I want to say like the whole first season happened and I didn't even know anything about it. And then I think Jason Sudeikis got nominated for something and won something. And that's when he gave that really weird speech from it's like, it was during COVID. He gave like a weird Zoom speech from his living room where he was like stoned and like wasn't really like there.
I don't think I know anything about this.
Let's see if I can find it.
I talk now? Yeah. Boy. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I said that. I mean, that's nuts. Thank you to the Hollywood Foreign Press. I mean, this is for me, the coolest thing that a group of, that's nuts. Especially, that's crazy. Okay. All right.
Okay. I need to know, did they just tell him that this was a possibility about 12 seconds ago?
Yeah, I don't know. He was not prepared. By the way, he put on his best tie-dye hoodie for the occasion. What is he doing? I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like dressing up either, but come on, bro. Like Don Cheadle, like, is all dressed to the nines, and fucking what's his name from Schitt's Creek is all dressed up and shit. And he's just like, just got out of bed. What happened?
He's like, oh, cool. Wait, I forgot. I did a TV show? When did that happen?
Yeah, cool.
I'm gonna play.
Got my favorite cactus behind me.
Wow. Well, here's what I'll say. I'll say this. I want to thank everybody that works on the show. I read this book to my son Otis called The 3 Questions by Leo Tolstoy, and he has these 3 questions like, when's the best time to do things? When's the right thing to do? What is the right thing to do? And then who is the most important one? And that last question, who's the most important one, is like whoever the person you're with. So I
pause it real quick.
Premise of being the best actor, because
by the way, Eugene Levy, that's a baller hotel room he's in right now. That's not even his house. He's just in a sick ass suite somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Meanwhile, the guy in the top middle, I don't even know who that is. He's in he's like in a dentist office, apparently. Go on.
In the waiting room.
I don't know who any of these people are, by the way. I know who Don Cheadle is. Go on. Anyway.
Okay,
by the way, we're 2 years late on this.
I know.
Everybody else.
I know, but still, so Eugene Levy is just like smiling because of the situation, I think.
Yeah, who's the guy in the beanie?
I don't know, but he's been laughing the whole time.
Yeah, maybe just not cut to him. Because and Don Cheadle, look at Don Cheadle's face right now. He's
pissed.
Not happy. Yeah, he's not happy.
He's like, you are making a mockery of the Golden Globes. What is that?
Anyway.
In your tie-dyed hoodie.
My humble opinion, the best actor is the person you're acting with. So I want to give this a shout out to all
Is
the
that
people
just a
I get to
painting
act
of
with
Eugene
on this
Levy?
show, because they're,
Yeah, he hasn't moved. Is he okay?
you know,
I don't
and
know.
do they make me the best? No, but I know for a fact they make me
No, dude, seriously, I don't know that he's moved
better
at
than
all.
I am, better than I thought I could be, better than, you know, than anyone, you know, than than anything I could do. And so I appreciate everybody looking out. And Don's right. I got to wrap this puppy up.
That's a serious wrap it up too, right?
Never been
Like
my
that's not
forte.
a
Little windy, as my Aunt Loretta would say. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. And shout out to my nominees, fellow nominees. Thank you.
Yeah, he found out 13 seconds before they announced his name. Like, hey, by the way, you're nominated for this. You should probably get out of bed real quick. You know he wasn't wearing any pants, by the way, right?
Oh,
You know,
absolutely
he was
not.
Yeah. I like shit like that though, man. Like, don't take yourself too seriously. Like, and I think that's what the biggest, like, the people that liked it, that's what they, you know, obviously that's what
But
they
what
liked
about-
about it. But the people
what-
that didn't like it, they were like, hey, come on, this is serious.
What
No,
about
it's not.
his management team? Like, what are they thinking at this point? Like, this is the Golden Globes.
But it's COVID too, and it's like you're doing everything through Zoom, and who cares? Who cares anyway?
Yeah.
You know?
I
Did you-
guess.
Did you ever see the Entourage movie?
No.
No.
Wait, what? I don't think so.
So I'm not spoiling anything, but like, so the end of the movie, they make their own movie essentially. You know what Entourage is. You know the
Yes.
the characters and everything. So
Yes.
Vince makes his own movie. He stars in it, directs it, and Drama's in it, and they both get nominated for Golden Globes. So the ending scene of the movie is Drama winning Best Supporting Actor, which was like a huge deal. You know, he struggled and blah 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 blah.
Okay.
The thing I thought was so funny was like, even when they're trying to dramatize what Hollywood thinks of the Golden Globes, they still couldn't pull it off. Like, even in a movie, you couldn't put yourself in the situation where like it mattered. You know, they tried to pick
Yeah.
a guy, they give it to a guy who's like struggled his whole life. He finally gets to this pinnacle moment, and you still go, yeah, who gives a fuck? No one cares.
Yeah.
Like, they couldn't even do it justice in a movie, like fictitiously, but like, hey, you should care about this. Like,
Right.
yeah, I don't know if you need to see that movie, by the way. It's not that great, but
I don't. I mean, how many years old is that movie now?
oh,
Like, it's
long time
at
ago. But
least. Yeah. Okay.
I saw it because I watched the show, and one of the worst endings to a show ever. Ever. How did we get on this? Oh yeah, so Ted Lasso, and so because of Jason Sudeikis and his tie-dye hoodie, you will watch the US play on Saturday. That was the
Yeah.
conclusion that I came to with all of that.
Yep. Yep. Sure.
Okay,
Yep.
great.
Yep.
Great.
But no, I think that Jason Sudeikis was probably, for what they were trying to do in that show, I think he was the perfect person
Do you
to
really?
be the lead character. I do. I mean,
I think
well, the reason why I say that is because I was actually sitting on the couch trying to think of anybody else to play that role, and I don't really have any that came to mind. Plus, I think Jason Sudeikis did a really good job in that role.
yeah, I mean, I know. I just think the character is just not good. I don't think it's a good character. I think he does an okay job of like pulling a shitty character off, because I think the character is dog shit. I don't get it. I think it's dumb.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand, like, what is the appeal of having this guy be so ignorant that he has to go over there and literally be taught everything about culture and everything about, and I guess the whole point was like, stupid Americans, ha ha ha, here we are.
Right. And also the fact that he goes over there and like doesn't know literally anything about soccer, but then gets on the field and knows like drills to run. And
well, I think that was all being
like that
dictated
too.
to him by the one dude,
You
the
think?
dude that leaves the team, and yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I feel like there are holes in the character. Like, the character doesn't really make sense to me too much.
Yeah. But I also wonder if it's one of those things where like they didn't really know if the show would take off in the beginning.
I don't think so. I think they thought it was going to be an epic failure.
Yeah. And if that's the case, you know, you kind of at least in the first season, you just kind of make it through. And then once you get picked up, then you really start developing a lot better, I guess, as the characters go on.
Can I tell you why I think it did well, or does do well? It's a fine mix of American and British television.
Okay.
The way that it's shot, the characters, the character development, the storylines. I think it's a fine mix. If you've ever watched any shows that were originally British based shows, and then like Shameless and The Office and
Right.
A lot of these shows, like, you know, it's a fine mix. I mean, don't get it twisted. Euphoria would not exist if it weren't for the show Skins. You ever watch Skins?
Uh-uh.
You've watched Euphoria, though. We've talked about this, right?
I haven't. No, you just explained it to me. I don't even know what is Euphoria on? What
Oh,
streaming
Jesus
service?
Christ. It's on HBO.
HBO. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about
Yeah.
getting HBO just for oh just to watch the new Christmas Story movie.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet. I don't know if
Uh,
I can.
I don't know if I can either, but I'm intrigued enough that I'm like, I should, if I could get like a free trial or get like 3 months for $3 or something like that on HBO Max, I might do it.
I just
That's
feel
the
like
only
it's-
reason why I watched Ted Lasso also is because I got 3 months free through Apple Plus or Apple TV.
Same. That's why we did it. So now we gotta pay for it again, I guess, if we want to finish watching it. But like with the Christmas Story, it's why did they wait so long? This should have been like 10 years ago, because Ralphie, believe it or not, has been in other movies.
I haven't watched any of them, but I've seen his face.
You know,
around.
that's Vince Vaughn's like best friend.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Huh.
He's been in a lot of Vince Vaughn movies.
Okay.
Yeah. So I never really understood like why wait this long. And he's like playing the age of the parent that he should have played 10 years ago. And like in the movie poster, like he looks like 70 years old. Like it just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
It's like, but you know what's funny? And maybe this is on purpose. The dad in the Christmas Story movie, who looked 80, was supposed to be like 40.
Yeah, true.
So maybe that's where they're going with that. I don't know.
Did they bring anybody else back? Like from the original movie? Like is his little brother in it or anything?
I remember watching the trailer and I don't think I recall. Should we watch the trailer?
Oh, life moves fast. One day you're playing kick the can with kids named Flick and Schwartz.
I triple dog dare ya!
And the next thing you know, you're a certified adult.
So Flick's back. Flick's
Well,
Tavern.
Your old man.
Fragile.
He was the best.
Ralphie, promise.
Actually, I think that was Schwartz
a
bartending.
wonderful
Was it?
Christmas. That would
so.
make your
Man, he does
father
look
so
old, doesn't he?
happy.
I promise.
So old.
What had I done? And now
Pause
it was
it.
all up to me?
And why does he have the same eyes that Robert De Niro has in The Irishman? What is with the CGI eyes on him?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's annoying. I think that might be Schwartz. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I can't tell. Okay, here we go.
I suggest you start drinking and don't stop till New Year's.
Kids, who wants to go see Santa?
This is amazing, incredible.
We will meet you right here when you're done.
Don't let him kick you in the face.
Huh?
It's
Yeah, that lady's way too young for him.
No, us decorating. It kind of feels like child labor.
Honey, it's not labor if we don't pay you.
Cheers.
There'll be much mistletoe. My dad made this all look so easy.
That doesn't mean it was easy.
Schwartz, I triple dog dare ya!
Oh, I got it now.
Okay, pause it.
It's brutal.
Ralphie looks 60 and Schwartz looks 32.
Uh-huh.
And they're supposed to be friend. Like, come on. Okay, keep going. Just bothers me. Oh, that was the bully.
Luckily,
That
I
was
could
him,
feel
wasn't
the
it?
Christmas
Yep.
ember beginning to glow again.
Ah, fuck it. I'll see it.
I think I have to watch it.
Yeah, I'll fucking see it. Who cares? It doesn't look good by any means. I suggest you start drinking and don't stop till New Year's. Really, do you? Shut up. It's like a typical like cheese ball, buddy comedy line. Anyway, Christmas. What's your favorite Christmas movie? Go, go, go. You don't have long to answer.
Probably Home Alone 1.
It's a solid
Yeah,
answer.
no,
It's a solid answer.
I know it's an easy answer, but like as far as movies that I watch every year, it's Home Alone 1 and 2 and A Christmas Story. Those are the main
You don't
movies.
watch Christmas Vacation?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Don't piss me off.
You know what I tried to watch the other day was Scrooged with Bill Murray.
Yeah, it doesn't
Eh.
hold up, does it?
Not at
Yeah.
all.
I
Ugh.
loved it when I was younger, but yeah, I'm okay with not watching it.
Yeah, I was not impressed.
I mean, I think it's like a cult hit because of how dark and weird it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a good Christmas movie by any means. Like that'll bum you out. Like it's not so, but I understand why people like it still. Like, because I know I actually was just talking to somebody about that recently. Like, because they're a huge Bill Murray fan though. Like,
Yeah.
I think you have to be into his dry sort of humor to really get that movie and appreciate it. It's okay. I mean, but for me, it's like, I could do without it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christmas Vacation is number one for me still. I just, and I'm sure we'll talk about this again as we get closer to Christmas. But I'll say this, and we can change topics. But an underappreciated or underrated, or maybe just an unknown Christmas movie that I think a lot of people should see is Office Christmas Party with Jason Bateman. Have you seen that?
Does that have TJ Miller in it too?
Yeah,
I need to rewatch that. I watched
Dude.
it when it first came out.
it's really funny.
Yeah.
Maybe I just like Jason Bateman movies. Like I don't know a movie that he's in that I dislike off the top of my head.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but no, it's good. It's worth the watch.
I'm a major Jason Bateman fan. I mean, we've talked about him so much on the show, but I am, and a big part of it is he can do every genre really well, especially between comedy and drama. I mean, yeah,
I think at this point he's stuck doing drama because of Ozark and what he's done recently. Yeah.
I'm afraid we're going to lose him as an actor because I told you before I listened to that Smartless
does that mean?
podcast. Well, I listened to that Smartless podcast with him and Will Arnett and Sean Hayes. And dude, he gets so deep in the weeds in these interviews with the directing and producing side of it. Like he acts like he would much rather be behind the camera than in front of the camera.
I can believe that.
So I mean, I know that happens to a lot of actors, but I could see him not acting very much from here
I mean,
on
his
out.
family's been in the business for
Yeah.
How long? Over 50 years?
Long time.
I mean, longer than that because he's probably 50 whatever. So I mean, his
Yeah.
sister's older than him, and then his dad was in it, and so that makes sense. Was it his
Yeah.
dad? Somebody. Yeah. I know they're a Hollywood family, but anyway. So we'll revisit the Christmas movies later on as we get closer to Christmas.
Yeah.
But the Christmas Story one, I'll see it. Why not? But what I do want to talk about, and something that we tried to talk about when we had Al on, and we kind of just got caught up talking about other stuff. I want to talk about Sick New World Festival.
Okay.
As you know, after When We Were Young concluded, I predicted that the next one would be nu metal. I was right. And it actually,
what was the reasoning for it being nu metal? Was that just a guess?
my prediction,
Yeah.
because I think it's a nostalgia-based genre that I think is coming back in waves of new bands, just like emo, just like pop punk, and basically what you saw at When We Were Young. So that's why I said that. But I mean, it also makes sense because you still have bands that are relevant today that you could put at the top of the bill and then fill it with a bunch of nostalgia-based bands, like they did with When We Were Young.
Yeah.
Same formula, same concept. And I think they did. I mean, this lineup, we pull it up. I mean, dude, this lineup is, and for me, this lineup's insane because several of my favorite, my top bands are on here. But I mean, look at this lineup, dude. Just from System to Incubus, like what? Come on.
I've looked at this, but there's a lot of bands that I just
you don't care about.
No, the definition of nu metal, I guess I just don't understand.
Fair. Okay,
really.
So who on
Just
this?
because,
I'm so glad you said that. This is gonna be great.
just like, okay, Cold. Is Cold considered nu metal?
They got popular during the nu metal when nu metal was ruling the world. That's when Cold got popular. Yes.
Okay.
Same with Cradle of Filth. Cradle of Filth is by no means, here they are right here.
Yeah.
You can see my cursor, but Cradle of Filth is by no means a nu metal band, but for the time that they blew up, it was during nu metal ruled.
Okay.
Lacuna Coil is not a nu metal band. Filter is not a nu metal band. Melvin's not a nu metal band. But
is Hoobastank a nu metal band?
again, got super popular when You know, I mean, think about when The Reason hit, or even before that, when Crawling in the Dark came out. Yeah. They weren't new metal, neither is Alien Ant Farm, but those bands got popular during that time.
Does
This
does
isn't called
Fly-
a new metal festival, but I mean, if you look at,
I got you. Okay. Okay.
you know, who's
Okay.
headlining, and
Yeah. Does Flyleaf have to announce that they're with Lacey Sturm now?
yeah, I thought
Did
that was a
she-
little bit weird.
Did she depart from the band?
She did. No, they had a different singer.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know Flyleaf went on after she left. I mean, knew she was doing solo stuff, but I didn't know.
Yeah, I played with
Okay.
them at Pops with a new singer. They put out
Oh,
2 records
really?
with her. Yeah,
No shit. I need to check
and
that out.
they were good records. I mean, she doesn't sound so the records they did with her. She does not sound like Lacey necessarily, but she pulled off Lacey's vocals 100%. Yeah.
That's good.
No, I mean, it's good stuff. I don't think it's as good as the first 2 Flyleaf records with Lacey. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, we played with them, and who was on that show? It was them, and
Oh, dude, no shit. Stabbing Westward's on it.
yeah, love Stabbing Westward.
I do too, dude. When was the last time that Orgy played a show, do you think?
Don't care. Would love to see them.
I would
There are
too.
several like, for me, bands that like are off the radar, you know, when we're talking about the mainstream sort of bands that actually like popped, bands on this list that it would just be fun to see. Stabbing Westward is one, KMFDM is one, Skinny Puppy is one, Ministry would be cool,
Hey,
Mr. Bungle would be cool.
quick question.
Yeah.
Monster Magnet was earlier than most of these bands, right?
Space Lord.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That seems like it was earlier than a lot of these bands, but maybe I'm wrong.
If you think about when System came out, when Korn came out, when Deftones came out, no, not even close.
Yeah, you got a point.
Deftones started as a band in 1988.
Oh, cool. The year I was born.
So,
I always have to throw that into you.
so I mean, I also don't like how it's just Ville Valo and not him. So like, he's just gonna play.
Oh,
Did you ever get it?
Explain that. I know who him was. What's the
Ville Valo
him
is
the
the
whole-
singer.
Oh, okay.
But again, I don't know if him is not been a band or been a band. Can I tell you the one band before you continue? I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You're good. Go ahead.
I'm gonna forget if I don't say it now.
Okay.
I like the band, but I'm not sure why they're on the bill as far as based around everyone else you see here. Turnstile. Not too sure why they're on the bill. Awesome band. And believe me, if I were at the festival, I'd watch them, but it seems a bit odd. Also, can we move POD up the fucking list here?
I would like
I
to
mean,
see that. Yeah, for sure.
They have sold millions of records. What are they doing down here? Like, this is a great lineup. What were you going to say? I apologize.
I was going to ask, isn't him another one of those bands that Bam Margera was connected to, or that
they're
he
the
helped?
band.
The band. That's what I thought.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I would say if not for him, they never cross into they never break into the United States at all. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
It's arguable, but yeah. I mean, no, he was like a groupie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was super weird. And he not that this has anything to do with anything, but he always attributes his alcoholism to the singer, him, Ville Valo. Because he met them in his early 20s. And when he was in his early 20s, everything was about skating, wasn't really a drinker. Occasionally, he would be the occasional on the weekends. Every other weekend, there'd be a party. Let me have a few drinks. But like, he went to, he was in Europe with this guy. And I remember him saying this vividly on one of these. Vice did a really cool documentary. They have a really cool documentary series about skaters called Epically Latered. If you don't know what that is, go watch it. They did an episode on Bam Margera, but there are tons of great episodes on, people like Chad Muska. And in the Bam episode, Bam talks about how, he had never really thought, like the thought of like day drinking had never crossed his mind, had never crossed his mind until he was in Europe with Ville Valo, and it was 11 a.m. They were in a car going back to the hotel, and he's like, yeah, I got out of the car and I followed him, and he just went straight to the hotel bar and ordered a beer. And Bam was like, oh, you can do that? But he's like, Ville Valo did it so naturally where it wasn't like, hey, you want to go have a beer? He just got out of the car and walked straight to the bar and just ordered a beer. He's like, fuck it, I'll have a beer. And he's like, from there, I just remember that being the trigger point to me being like, well, I can just drink whatever and still get my shit done. And anyway, that has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about. But, so it's interesting. Watch that episode of Epically Later. But so here's something I want to do. So I love that lineup.
Do you know anyone who has already bought tickets to go?
I do not.
No? Okay. I do have some friends that have already done it, so that's why I was curious.
Do you really? Well, good for them. Yeah, I'd like to go to that. When is that again?
I think it just
is
said May
May
13th.
13th, 2023. That's closer than we think.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah, I probably
500.
won't be able to go because baby number 2 will have just arrived.
Right.
So,
So let me ask you this.
okay.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go.
I'm changing subjects, so if you
Don't
have
change
something-
subjects. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I put a little list together and I tweeted it, but like bands who I don't see on this lineup that I think would fit so well, and I wish they were on it, and then songs that I think you definitely and the listener should check out by them. So I'm just gonna give them to you. We'll call this the. No, I won't give them to you so I'm just gonna give them to you. No particular order here. So Darwin's Waiting Room. Song is called Feel So Stupid. Go check it out.
Okay.
Pulse Ultra. Song is called
Oh
Big
yeah,
Brother.
dude.
You
Oh,
know
dude.
Pulse Ultra.
I do.
How do you know that?
What's the song? What's the
Big
song?
Brother?
Build Your Cages. That's my favorite
Oh,
song.
yeah.
Yeah.
We could put that one on the list too, but I said Big Brother,
Okay.
which is another great song. Same record. Crossbreed, excuse me, Painted Red.
Okay.
I believe I told you to check out Hotwire, their song called Not Today. Project
Okay.
86, I know you checked out,
Yep. Loved it.
but check out the song Pipe Dream from their debut record, their self-titled record. A band that I just 2 weeks ago, I couldn't remember the name of the band, and I was like going through my phone, and I'm like, damn, I really don't have the record on my phone. I have the CD, so then I went to iTunes and I immediately. So it's a band called One Side Zero, really cool band, and I actually texted a bunch of people this once I started listening to the record again. They are Breaking Benjamin before Breaking Benjamin.
Really.
Yes. So you need to check them
Side
out.
Guy. Is that what you said?
One Side Zero.
Or One Side Zero?
The whole record is great. The record is This Room Getting Smaller?
That's
Check
the
it
name of
out.
the record?
Yes. It
Okay.
is front to back good. And it is, again, it's like Breaking Ben 5 years before.
Huh. Okay.
Revelate, Bleed the Sky.
Okay.
From Zero, The Other Side. Primer 55. I can't believe they didn't get Primer 55 back together for this festival. But check out the song Loose by them, and then Snot. We've talked about them a couple of times on this podcast. The song Snot.
Yeah.
I tweeted that and people were like, whatever, dude. New metal sucks.
Speaking
Like,
of
you
that,
suck.
when was the last time you heard Tommy Vex's name? Like, is he still doing music anywhere or doing anything?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I brought his name up because I know we've talked before, and you said you've seen him whenever he was
With Snot,
touring as the
And he
singer
did
with
a-
Snot. Yeah.
fucking great job. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago, dude.
Yeah.
He's 40. I didn't realize he was that old. So that would have been, he would have been young. Bad Wolf singer Tommy Vex says racism is manufactured. That was on June 18th. Oh boy. Bad Wolves announced new song and address situation with Tommy Vex.
That was probably a
Bad
while
Wolves
back.
have returned with a new single from their upcoming album, Dear Monsters, out
Yeah.
October 29th. This will be their first with new lead singer DL. Former vocalist Tommy Vex parted ways with the band earlier this year. And up until now, the remaining members have been pretty quiet about his departure, but they are finally breaking their silence. See the statement below. Oh, it's been removed.
Nice.
That's never good. Sorry, Tommy. So the other thing I wanted to ask you, have you heard the new Metallica? Let me ask you, before you answer that, are you a Metallica fan?
Not really.
Not really, because you haven't tried to listen to all of it, or do you don't care?
I think most of it sounds the same to me.
Whoa. You're gonna have people showing up at your doorstep.
That's
dude.
fine. I'm okay with that. And here's the thing. I actually just for this episode today listened to about the first 30 seconds of the new song.
Yeah.
Immediately. All right, that's Metallica.
Let's listen to it.
That's it. That's it. That's all
Let's
I
listen
got.
to it. Let me give me the first 30 seconds. I like it so far.
Yeah. So that's Metallica.
I mean, it does sound like Metallica. I like it though. I mean,
I have
it
I have
rips,
respect.
bro.
I have respect for them. Don't get me wrong. I do.
Well, let me ask you this: are you with the collective majority that feels like Lars's bass drum doesn't sound good?
Is that what they're complaining about? I read this article that you sent me
Yes.
about people complaining about it, but it doesn't. I didn't really see where it said what the complaint was. So it's just that they think it sounds bad.
I guess those
What
people need to
what can
shut
make
up.
a kick drum sound bad?
Well, I mean, there are specific sounds it could have to make it not fit the music or not sound as powerful as it should, or
Do you think that people are actually complaining about that, or do you think they're just complaining about Lars because
I think it's a
Lars
Lars
has
thing.
a massive hatred?
But
fan
also, I
base?
just think that it's stupid elitist metal fans being stupid elitist metal fans.
Okay.
I watched a video the other day of a guy who he's one of these YouTube guys who he critiques a lot of music that comes out, a lot of like if like a magazine like Rolling Stone puts out like a top guitarist list or something, he'll shit on it, and it's like the worst thing this guy ever could have done for me was eventually go, oh yeah, well I release music as well, and I'm like, dude, as a musician, why don't you just take a step back and go, it's not my thing.
Right.
Like, you're not just a hater. You're not just somebody who shits on things on the internet. You understand what they're trying to do. You just don't
Right.
think they executed well. And of course, you think you can do it better. But then you
Right.
want to go to YouTube and tell people that you can do it better. It's annoying to me. Look, man, I know I hate on a lot of shit on the show, but like when it comes to music, like I try to toe the line of like, it's just not for me. I can respect, but it's just not for me. But I'm not going to be like this elitist person who thinks I'm a better player or thinks I'm a better singer or thinks I can write a better song or like
Well,
this and that. It's like, what are you doing?
when it
If
comes,
this, but my point, sorry. If this dude really thought that he knew better, then you'd be as big as Metallica. Then you'd be
right.
as big as the bands that you criticize, but you're not. It's just your opinion, dude. It's all it is, dude. And
Right.
you should know better than anybody as someone who releases music. Everyone has an opinion.
So what's your thoughts on the kick drum? Does it bother you?
Sounded fine. No, it sounded fine to me.
Sounded fine.
It doesn't bother me at all. The snare drum, which was the original thing when they released Some Kind of Monster, which was the movie or the album that they made the documentary movie about, that
Mhm.
snare drum that everybody complained about did not sound great. But I had some drummer friends be like, hey, they did it on purpose. They were trying to give you this like, and had it not been for the movie, I think this would have made more sense. They were trying to give you this like, we're trying to figure things out, garage band type of sound, which they eventually did with Rick Rubin. The problem is that this fucking documentary came out, and then you realize, oh wait, it took these guys, like these guys are kind of bitches. Like everything's about, it's never about the music. It's about ego. It's about this. It's about, so the snare drum in that sense didn't make sense, but I get what they were trying to do, because the guitars were really kind of like grimy and less produced and more, I guess, a little
Like
more
raw?
thrashy like the earlier
Say, like-
days.
Okay.
Because they had been coming off these highly produced, very successful rock alternative records, and I think they wanted
Well,
to put out a metal record. And
My first thought would be like if like they have the choice on how a record sounds before they put it out. And if they're established artists and they're big artists, they're not going to put out an album that sounds differently than what they are like how they are looking for it to sound. I would think, right? So like I don't know. I guess I'm just saying people don't really have a right to complain about like you can,
Well,
as you said a while ago, like, okay, it's not your cup of tea. This isn't for me. Okay, and then move on. But that's not people.
well, that's
anymore.
me taking the easy way out. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
in 2022, everyone has a right to complain about everything,
Yeah, true.
and they do, But I think at this point, it's like, shut up. What are you still complaining about Metallica for? Just let them be old men that make good music, because that's ultimately what they are. I mean, they're still good players. They still can write a tune. Like, just stop. But yeah, the Gatekeepers, got to say something. I liked what you just played me, so I'm gonna check that song out when we're done. Foolishly, I hadn't listened to it yet. I can't believe you're not a Metallica fan.
Just not my thing.
Do you like other bands of that nature, or within the same vein? Like, do you like do you like Megadeth? Do you like Pantera? Bands like that?
I mean, I'm not gonna seek it out,
No.
but I'm not gonna say that I hate it either. I don't know. It's just
Can I ask you a question?
uh-huh.
Answer it honestly, and if you don't know the answer, just say I don't know. Do you think that Breaking Benjamin would exist without Metallica?
Probably not. But I think
So
that I mean the sound, like, because of, I guess this might sound stupid, but because of the progression of music from Metallica and bands like that, and Pantera and Megadeth and stuff like that, I think that's how you get bands like that.
Yeah.
Breaking
Okay.
Benjamin.
Fair enough. I actually think that Breaking Benjamin would have a harder time existing if it weren't for bands like Pearl Jam. I want to say Creed too. I want to say without Creed, Breaking Benjamin doesn't exist.
How long before Breaking Benjamin was Creed out?
Let's find out.
It couldn't have been that much longer, right?
I think it was significant enough.
Was Creed Creed before, like, Higher and With Arms Wide Open?
Can you take me higher? My Own Prison came out in 1997.
Okay, so
Creed
when
began in 1994.
so when did the first Breaking Benjamin album come out?
This also might show you that I know dick about Breaking Benjamin, but because I really don't listen. They didn't come out until they formed in 1998, and they didn't put out their first record until 2003. Started as a Weezer and Beatles cover band. That is not fun.
Who did?
Breaking Ben.
That can't be true, right?
That's what it says. Did Wikipedia
It's on
ever
the
lie to you
internet.
before?
It's on the internet. Gotta be true.
It's out there, and I said it, so it has to be true. I don't know. I feel like the success of Creed's first record, I think a lot of bands owe it to that record. In a sense.
Because
I
of
could be
the
wrong.
sound, because of the sound.
Yeah, the
and
sound, the
because
guitar sound, the vocal sound, the production of it. Yeah, everything.
Okay.
I don't know. I might be wrong. But yeah, I think Breaking Benjamin owes more to like bands like Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, bands
So
of that.
basically the
vein.
grunge era.
Not necessarily the grunge era.
You're naming a lot of grunge bands.
I named two.
You named Pearl Jam, you named Stone Temple Pilots, and you named, what was the other one
Creed?
you named? No, you named a different one, I thought.
No.
Maybe not. Oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to bring up was Loudwire. Loudwire put out this list of the 50 best hard rock or metal debut records. This is actually a conversation I've had with people quite often. When I've been asked, I've always named a few, like right off the bat. Like I consider, like, oh yeah, well, hands down, Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses, for sure. Hybrid Theory and Linkin Park. And, the other one that always comes to mind is 10 by Pearl Jam. 3 of the best records, debut records, I think, ever. Nothing Shocking by Jane's Addiction. So there are a few, but they put out this list, and I thought it was interesting because none of the ones I just said were in their top 10, and I thought for sure they would be. Or I'm sorry, one of the ones I said is in their top 10, but I thought for sure multiple would be. So obviously we're not going to go through all fucking 50 here, but so number 10, Iron Maiden. I'm gonna have to guess that you're not an Iron Maiden fan.
Not
'Cause you
really.
don't like, yeah, I figured you don't like Metallica. There's no way. So this is a band, like, I'm not the biggest fan either. I can appreciate them. It is funny though. Remember how I told you stories of the British guys coming over, and they had the guys that had the band that lived above my garage?
Yeah.
One of the guitar players in that band was a diehard. I mean, diehard. I never saw the dude not in an Iron Maiden shirt, if I recall. And he was always like, and I remember going up there and watching him play, he would always just wail, fucking rip these Iron Maiden riffs. And I remember thinking as a little kid, like, oh shit, that's going to be my favorite band ever. And then I got older and I put it in and I was like, oh yeah, it's not going to be my favorite band. I can appreciate it, but it's just, yeah. So number 10, number 9, Van Halen. I mean, I think that's really an obvious one that I forgot. And I always forget when people ask me, but I'm not, again, not the biggest Van Halen fan. There was a Van Halen record in my house when I was growing up. You know, we had a record player, and I would put it on. It wasn't this one. It was the one with Jump on it. What is that called? 1984, I believe.
Okay.
No, this one has Running with the Devil and Ain't Talking About Love, like, you know, the classics. But so this is a good one. Nine Inch Nails, Pretty Hate Machine. Another one I always forget, and it is a good record. Are you a Nine Inch Nails fan?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the song. This is the record with Head Like a Hole and Terrible Lie. Do you know? Have you heard the story about this record? And you know, before they put this record out on their original label, and then the Interscope signed them. But the owner of the record label they were on, hated this record, hated it. He didn't even want to release it. He actually called it an abortion.
Yikes.
Yeah, he was wrong. He's wrong. he's fucking wrong. And Interscope scooped him up, and the rest is history. That's a good record. Sex Pistols, Nevermind the Bollocks. Here's the Sex Pistol. Whatever. I mean, it's fine. I mean, you could put on God Save the Queen or something like that, and I'd listen to it, but you're definitely not a band that I care about necessarily. Metallica, Kill 'Em All. So I definitely think I don't know if you'll like this one. But it is a good debut record, for sure. But it is super, super raw and thrash. And Ramones. Yeah, fine. I get that. Blitzkrieg bops on it. It's one of their biggest songs, one of the biggest, punk songs of all time. So it is a good one. Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced? Led Zeppelin, Good Times, Bad Times, all that. So
was this just a list of debut records, or was there a genre?
rock and metal.
Rock and metal. Okay.
Yeah. Loudwire does nothing but rock and metal.
Okay.
Black Sabbath, and Guns N' Roses. Appetite is number one. And I think that makes sense. I mean, how many records does that sell? Just an insane amount. Where is Hybrid Theory on this list? Rage Against the Machine. God, that's a good one. Again, it will be in my top 5, but Pearl Jam 10 is number 13. Morbid Angel, Altars of Madness. Want to know a funny story about Morbid Angel?
I have no idea who they are, so I'm listening.
Okay. You don't even know who they are. So they're a death metal band, I guess.
Okay.
I don't consider them, well, sure, they're death metal. So I had this roommate when I was 18. Yeah, 18, 19. He eventually went to the Marines, and I think he's still killing people to this day in the Marines. But anyway, he was a weird guy. He was an oddball. But I used to come home, and he was a guitar player, and he would be blasting Morbid Angel through the stereo we had in our living room, playing guitar, ripping fucking Morbid Angel riffs in his underwear with the lights off in the dark. I would lock my door at night to my bedroom. This guy was weird. That's my memory of Morbid Angel. Never really got into him, but fine. The Stooges. Dio, Holy Diver. Where the fuck? Jane's Addiction, nothing shocking. Okay.
I
Linkin
feel
Park,
like
Hybrid Theory, number 20.
based off of this list, I feel like Linkin Park's a little too new.
I mean, I think their record should be higher on the list if you're asking me.
I do too, but as far as most of the bands that I'm seeing,
Nirvana, Bleach, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Undertow by Tool. Not the biggest Tool fan, but I do like that record for what it is. Venom, Suffocation. Yeah. Ooh, Dillinger Escape Plan. That's a good one. Stone Temple Pilots, Core, another good one. Tons of fucking songs on that record. Living Color.
Oh yeah.
Perfect Circle. Oh, that's a good one too. Forgot about that. Mastodon's first record is really good. Yeah, so there's a lot of good shit on here. I would not put Smashing Pumpkins' first
I
record
knew
on
you were
this
gonna
list.
say that.
I like Smashing Pumpkins, but I would not put that record on this list. Not a chance. Not in the top 50. Damn, forgot about that. You know that most people, this is a funny story or funny thing about Deftones. You know that most people thought this was a C show. It is not.
It looks like one of those nose suckers.
It is.
Okay.
Good for you. Korn.
Only because I have a kid. So I know.
Slipknot. Yeah. System of a Down. Yeah, these are all. Oh shit. Yeah. Tons of good records. Anyway, I thought it was an interesting list. It's always like, if you get around musicians, they start talking about that. And The three I always go to just because they're like top of the head: 10, Pearl Jam, Appetite, and Hybrid Theory. But there are tons on the list. Of your favorite bands, can you name what their first record is? It's like Breaking Benjamin. What's their first record?
Saturate, right?
Tell me, you're the super fan. I actually did say it 5 minutes ago. I think it is
Yeah,
Saturate.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yep. Good call. Who's your next favorite band?
Well, I mean, Linkin Park's up there, so that's I would say
Well, I already
Hybrid
gave you
Theory.
that one.
I know you already gave me that one. Let's go Story of the Year
Okay. Page Avenue.
with Page Avenue. Yep.
So you like their new song?
Not as much as Tear Me to
Tear Me
Pieces,
to Pieces.
but it's still good.
It's good. It's gonna be a good. It's looking like it's gonna be a good record.
Yeah, the record's gonna be solid for sure. But when we talked about him last time, you said that you read an article or something, or heard somebody talking and saying that that Real Life song was a Story of the Year song.
Oh yeah.
Like you're saying, like that's not that that's a bad thing or a knock on them. It's just that's a Story of the Year song. I kind of felt the same way about the latest track too.
Yeah, I got to listen to it again. I don't know that I felt that. I felt it was kind of fresh, like Tear Me to Pieces, but I have to listen to it again. I'm gonna buy it. I need to buy it because I did like it. I liked it enough to like, oh yeah, I gotta buy that. Liked it enough to buy it before the record comes out. Like instead of waiting for the record, like I kind of just want to have it now. But
just for the Tear Me to Pieces track, it's worth it to me. And I haven't even heard the rest of the album.
I mean, all three songs are good.
And it goes along with, I know you've made fun of me in the past when I've said like, I like songs that start out at like a slower pace and then just kick you in the face at a certain point. And that Tear Me to Pieces does that. I know, see, as I said,
I like that too.
But the fact that it starts out acoustic and lighter, and then all of a sudden, you know, did you see? I think I shared it on our Facebook page. Did you see the video of Dan screaming for that song in the studio?
No.
Pretty good. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
He's good, man. I mean, that dude's a good vocalist. Like, and that's one of the things that's funny too. Like, it's weird how attached or like just, you know, when you have something from your hometown, you become so protective of it, I guess, in a way. But I was watching one of these reaction videos about Tear Me to Pieces, and one of the first things, the opening line of his vocal comes in, and it's these two guys that I follow, and they pause it, and the dude just goes. And I know the dude's a musician. I don't know if he's a singer, but I know he's in a band because they link music to this dude's. I've never checked it out, but they link music to his band. But one of the first things he says, they pause and he goes, "Oh, this guy's such a great singer." And I want to be like, yeah, he has been. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why that's a surprise, you know.
Right.
And that's not me, you know. Again, I'm, you know, I'm biased here, obviously, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's funny how it fits into the rest of the music world when it's someone that you know and from your hometown, and you're, like I said, you're almost in a way protective of their identity and what they do. I'm like, yeah, of course he is. They're fucking great. Like, why is this a surprise to people? But I guess it's a good thing that people are still being surprised today.
Yeah. About
a band that came out, you know, nearly 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Or made their major debut. So yeah, good for them. I'll tell you what I did do. Because we've talked about Story of the Year so much, and our phones are listening to us. In my YouTube feed, I started getting different bands from their record label. I am obsessed with a band from their record label.
Who is it?
It randomly came into my feed. It's a band called Loathe. Loathe.
Okay.
And maybe it was because I was listening to Deftones as well that this happened, but they sound like a heavy. This is the generic way of putting it. They sound like a Deftones with breakdowns.
Okay.
I guess. It's really cool music, man. But they're on Story's label, and it's like they've become like my new thing. So go check them out later. They're really cool. But yeah, that label is.
Have you looked at this band?
What?
Have you looked at this band? Like,
Yeah.
do you know what this band looks like?
Yeah.
This picture on Apple Music
You want me to pull it up?
It looks like 3 different versions of Jared Leto and a black guy.
That's so rude how you described that, but I guess say it again. 3 different versions of Jared Leto.
Yeah, and a black guy.
Does
Oh,
that
that's
bother
not
you?
the same. No, it's not the same picture.
Well, I think this is the newest version of the band.
Okay. All right.
And I'll say this, as you look at these guys, they definitely don't look, I guess they look like they sound, but
They
yeah,
look
I'm
they look English in this picture. Is that right?
yeah, they're from the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, which makes total sense.
So did you have a certain album that you listened to from them that you liked, or you just listened to some music here and some music there?
So I bought their record from 2020, I believe. Let me go back here.
I let it in and it took everything.
Yes. I let it in and it took everything. And the things they believe, I let it in and they took everything. Yeah. It came out in 2021. Yeah. Oh no, 2020. Sorry. Yeah. I bought that one and I'm gonna move on to the next record. But yeah, it's become like my new thing.
Here's
So,
our
that's
description. This inventive, experimental, and eclectic Liverpool-formed metalcore act fused the brutal sound of death metal with its progressive counterpart, occasionally veering into ambient, synth-led passages with a shoegaze-inspired texture.
Yeah, that term
What was-
shoegaze is really pissing me off.
I was just thinking that's hilarious, though, because we just talked about that with Al.
Well, Deftones is considered at times to be shoegaze, and so
Yeah.
they're heavy Deftones influence. You can hear it,
Gotcha.
especially in the vocals and in the. I would say a lot of the musical transitions from guitar to the like electronics and stuff. You hear it a lot, and obviously that's why I like it. Deftones being one of my favorite bands. I played it for my wife, and she goes, "It sounds like Smashing Pumpkins." I was like, "Interesting." And as I listened to it again, they're softer songs, obviously.
Yeah.
But like as I listened to it again, I'm like, yeah, I could see why she would think that. But she also like her favorite Smashing Pumpkins is like weird Smashing Pumpkins that no one knows about. It's like electronic, like eclectic. I hate using that word, but eclectic stuff.
Yeah.
So, but that record label is just one of these days. I'm just going to go through. I'm going to go back to the record label page and just look at their artist roster and just start of the bands. I'm like, I've never heard of them. I'm just going to start listening because it is just loaded, dude, of bands that I know. And then now that I'm discovering new bands from the label, I'm just like, all right, man, this is good shit.